If you're writing your resignation letter thinking, I don't really care anymore, wait. As someone who's recently been through the process, what you write in your resignation letter matters. This video covers 5 things you should never put in a resignation letter, and more importantly, what to say instead so you can leave professionally with your reputation and relationships intact. Remember, it can be a very small world. A resignation letter is a professional written notice of your decision to leave. It goes on record and it's often passed to HR, so think of it as your formal final handshake. A partner told me mine was well written, so listen up. Don't be emotionally reactive. Look, you might feel hurt, disappointed, or frustrated, especially if things ended badly. But your resignation letter, it is not the place for that emotional release. Don't say things like, I feel totally let down by the company. This will turn your resignation letter into almost a blame game, and that's not the place for it at all. You can reframe it as a positive that you've decided to move on to a new exciting opportunity. Then the complaint-driven resignation letters, where you feel overlooked, resist the urge to call it out. If you're saying things in your letter like the company doesn't recognize talent, it comes across a little unprofessional and it can then hurt your credibility. Instead, you can say that you're looking for a role with greater impact and recognition. Now, maybe you're leaving because of personal reasons, and of course these things do happen, but again, your letter is not the place for these details. Saying things like my relationship breakdown is affecting my work, it then makes it more personal and can just make it that little bit less professional. You can instead say, for personal reasons, I've decided to step away at this time. Now, if your salary is the problem, when you're putting it in that resignation letter, you're making it seem as though it's a negotiation or maybe a complaint. But as I touched on in my 9 steps to resigning, this is something you definitely want to avoid doing. If you do really want to touch on this, maybe you can say that you're pursuing opportunities that reflect your skills and market value, or you can just tone that down a little bit more and say a role that aligns with your career direction and goals. And finally, any threats or legal action. If you're planning to raise a legal concern or file a formal complaint, that should be handled separately. Again, it isn't in the resignation letter that you would do or state this. Saying things like, I'll be speaking to HR about legal action, it really escalates tension and it probably then won't make for a smooth transition or handover. Just don't include it in your letter. Address it through HR or with legal guidance just outside of this letter process. You might be wondering, okay, where can I actually give the honest feedback? That's totally valid, but it's just not in the resignation letter. Use the exit interview or questionnaire if your company gives you one to give that feedback then. Perhaps you can share your thoughts with HR directly, but deliver it in that constructive way. Perhaps you might want to raise it with your manager, but do that only if they're really open to it. And just always do continue to be respectful. The resignation letter can be very basic if you want it to be. It only really needs 4 key elements. And my resignation blueprint, it has 5 editable resignation letters, including the one that I actually submitted, as well as then a final month checklist, conversation scripts to have with your manager, a full list of exactly what not to say. You can grab it from the link in the description below. This will help you just really put together that letter so you're not second guessing anything. Keep your letter short, professional, forward looking. Don't vent, overshare, complain. Definitely don't make threats. Just resign respectfully. You don't want to burn bridges, you want to move forward. Do watch that 9-step video that outlines the full process, or grab my resignation blueprint in the description. Do drop any comments, questions, give me a like, and hit the bell button because I'll be back with more videos.